But they're saying trust yourself during this period, okay, no matter what shows up, because the past is going to show up, and it's only for you to do a non-judgmental assessment about where you are with this situation, okay? It's going to be in your face so that you can physically cut the tie.
Come on, let go, baby. You know you wanna. Come on, let go. Don't you know it feels good? Come on, let go. You know you wanna. Come on, let go. Don't you know it feels good?
Hey there, what is up, Cancer? Mika here, the Traveling Tarot, back with some messages from Spirit. Special Mercury Retrograde edition. This is going to be messages to help you understand what might be showing up during the retrograde, or how to best handle what does show up. So this is for Cancer placements or Cancer watchers, and the messages are general. So do take them as they resonate, but again, see why it does resonate, if it does resonate, okay? So I'm going to start by just pulling some of the Soul Tree cards, and then we're going to see what Spirit wants you to know for this Mercury retrograde. We're getting ready to go into it, and it will be roughly about 30 days. One of the things I know that I've been getting for sure is that this is the time of, and what's coming to mind is the word the culling, where you are now sort of the things that are dead, you're sort of clearing out that space. So it could very well show up for you. So they just want you to know that this is not, if something or someone does show up, it's not about a reunion. It's about integration, okay? And it's about that culling. You kind of solidifying those boundaries that you've been setting over the last few months. And we got my dog Bear showing up here in the background. So say hi, Bear. Bear on the track. Okay, so let's see what Spirit wants my beautiful Cancer watching this video to know that could be showing up, or that, you know, the best way to handle whatever does show up here during this next few 30 days or so of this Mercury retrograde. People tend to say, you know, are frightened by it because of some of the communication things that could be misunderstood and things like that. But honestly, Cancer, this is that time of that non-judgmental reflection so that you can make that space for what has been kind of coming into being all this time. Let's just see what Spirit, I mean, they're definitely guiding me to let you guys know that this is that reflection period. And it might be, that's so crazy. I was going to say it might be that time. And like I said, I've been getting the Cancer, this is our time to take care of ourselves, because we definitely had self-care showing up. This is the time for us to nurture ourselves, take care of ourselves. And this is also a call back to those readings that we're saying that this is that quiet awakening. So you're doing that non-judgmental reflection. You're doing that culling, if you will. You're stepping fully into this person that you've been creating. And that might even be why I was inspired to wear this red, because there's going to be action that needs to be taken, but you're really going to be stepping into this inspired action place, okay? So do be prepared to take action, but just be open to whatever that action is and let it be guided, okay? Because remember, it's all about taking care of yourself as you embody this person that you've been creating up to this point, or that's been happening because of what you've been living up to this point, okay? We do have follow through showing up at the bottom of the deck with that self-care, because follow through is a form of self-care. Man, I have to tell you, some of the simplest shit, like following through, finally has changed my life. And so they're saying that's definitely a form of self-care, because not only does it help you embody who you've been creating this entire time, but now you feel confident. You're starting to solidify your faith in it because you're beginning to see the evidence of it in your world. So make sure that whatever you do receive through that quiet awakening, you follow through on it. Okay, remember what I was just saying about needing to take action and why I was inspired to do red. because literally I was just seeing red. I even had something else on, and I was like, no, for this one, let's go with red. And so they're saying you're going to need to follow through on this inspiration that you do receive through the quiet awakening of taking care of yourself, nurturing, because remember, this is also that time of non-judgmental reflection that is all about that culling. That, okay, what do I want? What do I need? Those types of things, Cancer. So you're going to be inspired to the movement that you need to follow through on if you want to move into that person. And if you don't, you're just going to stay a little bit uncomfortable. And there's value in that too, because you're going to, some things that you're going through, you have to get sick and tired of before you say, I cannot do this one more time. And that is going to be your catalyst for the change. But just take a step back and allow yourself to be guided through this Mercury retrograde, and understand that whatever is showing up is for your highest good. It is for you to use that discernment. This is that integration of who I said I'm going to be now in the face of this thing for real. The X's that show up. How am I going to respond? I've been rehearsing this time. This is the time to shine. I've been rehearsing this conversation since we broke up. Now you're going to show up again. This is my time to say, okay, these are those boundaries, and I don't care how you show up. This, if you are showing up, it's got to be on these terms, or you can't stay. Okay, and that's in every aspect, including and especially your thoughts. Your thoughts are going to show up as well, because it's going to seem like the past, maybe even because there hasn't been a whole lot of physical progress, it's going to seem like the past is a better option when you really look back on it, and it's like, no, thank God I don't do that stuff anymore. Okay, so they want you to use that discernment through self-care. Because the boundaries set themselves once you decide, I no longer accept this way. If you're going to be here, it's got to be like this. And if you're not, you got to go, and bless everybody's heart. But this is real shit happening here. This is my life. It's not going to be any other thing. But what I want and need in Cancer, this is going to be that time for you to embrace that truth. And really, before you make... Bear, get away from that. Sorry, she's over there by my computer. You stop that. This is going to be the time for you to use that discernment and say, I've been asking for this change. I'm at that crossroads. This thing is now physically. This is the thing I've been obsessing over, thinking about, looking forward to changing. It's in my face now. What am I going to do? This is go time. This is what I've been training for. Am I going to say no thank you because I know what I want and need and will not put up with anything less than that? Or am I going to say, okay, maybe. Look, the other thing about self-care is that if you step into it, feel it, and say, no, I know what I need. As soon as you're aware, bring it back home. That's literally all you do. So don't kick yourself in the ass if you do happen to make that decision, okay? What else is Cancer going to need to appreciate, embrace, accept, release during this retrograde, or how best to handle it? Because self-care comes in, that's going to be the way that you're going to handle what does show up, is that the boundaries that you set because of who you know you are now are going to be the things that are going to be guiding the ship, and should. What else does Cancer need to know out of the soul trees? Reflection. Did I not say that this is that time? This is what the Mercury retrograde is all about. Okay, like I say, it gets this stink of, and it is stinky because you can really feel the energy, especially the communications and like the digital part of shit. It really, you're just like, really? You worked 2 seconds ago. And then literally after the shift or after the shadow of it, you're kind of like, okay, you're working again? Okay. It's pretty obvious once you tune in, but remember what I just said. Remember what I just said about reflection. And not only honest reflection, but non-judgmental, okay? It is what it is going to be your motto over this next 30 days, Cancer. And I never lied, okay? Because that's going to bring you to a place of self-care, because you're no longer obsessing over this thing that didn't work out, and you're able to reflect on it from a healing place. Take the bounce from it, take the hit, and then move on, because it's moving you into that integration, okay? And that's what this Mercury retrograde is going to show up for you. Something that is going to cause you to feel more reflective, okay? And again, those thoughts might even show up, or how the past was so great, but you've been working to change whatever it was all this time, okay? And just because things maybe haven't been moving as fast, it doesn't mean that what was going on then was better. In fact, it wasn't, or you'd still be doing it, okay? You wouldn't be longing for it. You don't have to take years to manifest things, okay? Especially all you have to do is get in proper alignment with your body, mind, and soul. I mean, shadow shows up with reflection. It's literally, like I said, that shadow side is going to be showing up. And the way that you're going to want to deal with it is that self-care. That shadow side is going to be showing up, but it's a time for you to embrace all of it, do honest, non-judgmental reflection about it, and then use the information. Remember I said about integration. Use the information that you get from it to heal, take the bounce, and move into this new change that is happening, okay? I'm going to pull one more of these, and then we'll jump into the tarot to see what the area of focus might be for us over the next 30 days or so in regards to this retrograde. There's one more message for Cancer that will help them understand the best way to move in this retrograde period. What else do they need to know? Else you Cancer to understand during this retrograde. Ooh, and we got two actually. I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much because two actually jumped out. And first of all, love you is the thing. Love you and listen. Tune into, because it follows through with guide. Tune into who you are, Cancer, because that's another thing that I've been getting as a Cancer Sun Moon. Okay? As a Cancer Sun Moon, I've been getting, this is a time for you to use that discernment to step fully into who you now are. When those thoughts show up, take a time of honest, non-judgmental reflection, see where that's coming from, and then step back into who you know you truly are, okay? And use the information that you get from that honest reflection to do that from a loving and authentic place. Trust that intuition that you're receiving. Trust that first thought, which is also that intuition, those intuitive nudges that you're getting. Your first thought is going to be your intuition answering your question. Every other thought after that is going to either support that first thought, or it is going to make you doubt it. Okay, and a lot of the times we move into that, but I can do it, but what about this, and this? And so it moves us into that doubt sometimes. But they're saying trust yourself during this period, okay, no matter what shows up, because the past is going to show up, and it's only for you to do a non-judgmental assessment about where you are with this situation, okay? It's going to be in your face so that you can physically cut the tie, or you can physically change it or transmute it into something that's different now, but it's based on your boundaries, what you have to have now, Cancer, because you've given to a point where now it is time to receive, because we love giving. Giving is totally us, but if all you do is give, you're also throwing it out of balance if you're not receiving. That's the word. That's the thing I've been getting mostly, is this Mercury retrograde is going to be a time, or even just this change now, Cancer, it's a time for you to get into receiving mode, and not just from spirit. It starts there, It starts there with love and listen, okay? But not just from spirit, but to get into receiving mode, that reciprocity. Receive that love back that you give or move on. In fact, during this reflection period, I definitely got for myself, evaluate, and it even said down to platforms, evaluate where you're putting your energy that's not giving it back to you, and cut that shit out. Go to what's working, and it's going to grow on top of that. It's like you're banging your head against the wall trying to figure this thing out, and you're just like, it's starting to be a reflection of who you think you are. It's time for you to focus on what is working and build on that, and just be willing to let go of what is not working. It doesn't mean it might not transmute as you redirect the focus of obsession, but it will free up this perspective that you might have of yourself based on the results you've been getting. It's that external validation showing its ugly head again, and it does, okay? This is only so that you can reflect on it and realize, no, who I am matters. I am valuable, I am worthy of love, and I'm worthy especially because I give love, honest and truly. And if you're doing that from a loving and authentic place, Cancer, there just isn't anything else you need to do. And I will always say that, okay? But this is that time of us getting to a place of receiving, that reciprocity, okay? Because this is the guidance that you're going to be receiving over this next. And as I pull that, we have Make-A-Wish. Your wishes are coming. Okay, last one, because this is also a deck that you can tell a full story in. Yeah, that's so perfect. We have Completion showing up as well, and then we have Becoming. This happened to come out with Completion. So yeah, this is the thing, Cancer. You're stepping into who you're becoming and who you've been wanting to become with Make-A-Wish showing up. You're being guided directly there, but this guidance, because it is a quiet awakening, is coming through self-care, nurturing, and love, and you actually tuning in to being okay with what you want, how you want it to look, and how it needs to be for you to play. This is what I say about, in my course, I Came to Win, this is what I say about the spiritual rider. I'm a celebrity, baby. For me to show up, I need to have the green M&Ms. I need to have freaking peaceful music, and I need to have whatever. It's basically the same principle. You create your rider and you say, I don't know what that is. I'll have to. Anyway, but you basically say, you create your rider and you basically say, for me to play, and this is in a relationship, this is in a business, this is in even a creative venture or project. These things need to be there for me to give my energy to it, okay? So I invite you to either look into taking the course, or at the very least create your spiritual rider and say, I definitely need reciprocity. I definitely need non-judgmental interaction. We need to be able to be who we are around each other, and without you trying to change me or me even trying to change you. Okay, those things are definitely in my rider. I need to feel loved, and I need to be appreciated for the love that I give, at the very least. So start small with what platforms that you just are a part of that are not giving you anything back, and just say, no more of this. I'm not going to keep banging my head against the wall. At least start there, and then that'll start the self-care train. So I'm going to jump into some of the tarot, see if we can get a little confirmation about an area of focus. Any possible challenges, obviously, when the past shows up, whether it's in the form of a person, a thought, a relationship, it can be that shadow stuff that we did see show up in the soul trees. So they just want you to be gentle with yourself, but let's see what they have for the area of focus for us. What does Cancer need to focus on, or what would be helpful for Cancer to focus on as we move into this Mercury retrograde? Whoa, okay, let's see, is that too many? Oh, well, maybe it's all three actually. Yeah. And honestly, it's kind of interesting because we have the Page of Wands showing up, which is all about you tapping into that also comes into that self-care and love you. You're tapping into that new spark, or you're finding new ways to express yourself, and you're doing it from an inspired place. We did have it showing up with the Five of Pentacles. So on one hand, it feels like scarcity or lack might be some type of a thing that'll show up during this in some way, whether it's with a relationship or with a person. But that's where that self-care comes in. But what's really standing out is that key. They want you to know that you hold the key by releasing that abandonment, disappointment, scarcity, lack, shortage consciousness that what we've lived has caused us. This is that reflection, what we've lived has caused us to feel. Instead of looking at it from that wounded place especially, look at it from a non-judgmental place so that you can use the information that you receive, Cancer. Because we also had the Two of Wands showing up as the area of focus, which is about receiving that inspiration, receiving the plan. But instead of it coming from that wounded place, you taking that key, and that key is your passion. That key is your love. That key is your desire to do this, okay? And you want that thing that moves you, not necessarily the thing that you have to do. With the Magician showing up, you want to use all of that information, because this is also that integration that I was talking about. The Magician, he represents manifestation, but he definitely represents using everything that you've lost, the information from that period. But you don't want to make any more decisions from that wounded place. You want to make it from a place of spark and inspiration, and then you receive the inspired plan to take action on. Okay, because remember what I said, it's definitely going to require that action. But during this retrograde, as you do that self-care and non-judgmental reflection, you're going to definitely want to take action, red, Mars energy. You're going to want to take action on the inspiration that you do receive. And I don't care if it's the smallest thing. If you're like, I'm inspired to go look out that window, kind of follow those nudges. Not only, that you're going to maybe find something hidden or revealed, but you are going to get comfortable with those nudges. Okay, that's that integration. And also, when the past does show up during this retrograde, you also want to use this integration energy to be like, who am I now? Is this still true for me, or has this just become some habit? Okay, so we do have also the Five of Pentacles showing up as a possible challenge, because you could still be thinking from that wounded place. But you'll know, especially if you listen to what you're receiving, because you're being guided. And so if it's making you feel like shit, that's a different energy than going towards your wish, okay? That's moving away from the cycle ending. I think the last couple of readings we've gotten is that it is definitely over. Let it end. Okay? So if you are still thinking from this wounded place, you'll instantly know, because not only will it block the new inspiration, but you will also not be able to receive the plan, and you'll feel stuck. Feeling stuck is almost the most obvious evidence there is about you still making decisions or feeling things from that wounded place. And look, if you're in that place, it is what it is. Accept where you are and see what you can pull as you do reflect on even your current situation. If it feels broke, if it feels Five of Pentacles right now, see what you can get out of this that is going to move you into an energy of receiving. And you will be able to start getting the inspirations no matter how small they are. And we have another page showing up with that new love, that new fulfillment, that new burst of of creativity, or even opening up your heart. That's the thing. I think that's been the running theme in the readings since I started this channel again, was open up, Cancer. It's okay to do that, and it's time to now, okay? And to make decisions from the place of knowing that you have the key to change any situation. I don't care if it's love, I don't care if it's money, and I don't care if it's even a physical condition. People have healed themselves. Okay, so you can do it from no matter where you are, but it does start with deciding to love yourself, take care of yourself, and listen to the guidance that you're receiving. Love yourself enough to listen to the guidance so it's moving you directly towards your wishes. I love the soul trees. I always say I might do a full reading on those cards because, man, they are so deep. But let's see what else might be showing up, what challenges, or you know what, I kind of did the challenges within that scarcity mindset. No matter what it is you're focused on, that scarcity mindset might show up. And or when the past shows up, you might feel it's this or that. As soon as you become aware of it again, try to tune back in. Remember that you are moving differently now, and you're not only moving from a place of self-care, but you're moving from a place of love. And you know what love feels like. If it doesn't feel like love, then you're moving from that wounded place again, okay? And you'll be all you have to do is, once you realize it, it's only a couple of perspective ticks for you to go ahead and move back into who you truly are. Because this shows up as I stop to tell you guys that, to let you know that this is you holding to your vision, and you're protected against whatever is going on, because this is that major transition, okay? So the things that might show up during Mercury retrograde, as long as you hold to your vision, no matter what shows up, you do come out on top, and you are now holding to your vision and moving towards the Eight of Wands energy, which is unblockage, okay? Because that's definitely coming to mind as you continue to tune into who you are, realize your power and your energy is the thing. The blocks start to lift and you move from the 7 into the 8 of Wands. Okay, so let's just get some advice, and then I'll send you guys off with the self-care oracle card. Take that one. Look, Cancer, we are getting so many pages because, like I said, this period is going to be the integration period. You're going to, if you've been having financial problems, you're going to be learning how to open yourself up to those new opportunities. And not only that, but step fully into them, okay? This survival, overburdened energy is over now, Cancer. And that's the thing. And I feel like that's also the double message of the Five of Pentacles. Not only do you start to realize you hold the key, but for some it might be a challenge still, because you might still be dealing with scarcity of some kind, or loneliness, or something like that. So it might be hard for you to truly believe that things have, and not are, but have already changed. You're already somebody new. And so any discord that you might be feeling will show up in your body, but that's that shadow self that we saw earlier on showing itself. And so instead of trying to resist even that, embrace it. Even if it's fear, even if it's whatever, just be like, you know what? I love you, me, and we're going to get through this together, one step at a time, whatever we have to do, because we know too much, and we know inherently that we hold the key to this. And that could also be part of the left out in the cold abandonment energy, because you might feel like, I know the key to this and I'm still living this. The universe is not hearing me. The universe is not listening to me. That's that, feeling like that you're the only one that is not using this energy appropriately. But they want you to know an end has already arrived. If you're not seeing it, it's only because you're coming from that wounded place instead of that inspired place. Okay, moving with the pages because it's so crazy. We have the Page of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and the Page of Wands. Inspiration, creativity, love, money, opportunities, physical things into your experience. But it really just depends on if you're still moving from a wounded place or not. And if you are, start with this. Because self-care and loving yourself right now is going to be the thing that brings you to the guidance. Okay, because we also have listen and guide showing up. It's going to bring you to the guidance. But if you're only hearing the noise that's around you, you will not be able to hear the guidance. But the advice here is, look at things from a new perspective, especially with all the pages showing up and the 10 of Wands showing up, that end to that burden or unnecessary commitments or just that overgiving. Because now that overgiving has caused things to be out of whack in our world, Cancer. And that's the thing. The universe is about balance. It's about reciprocity. It's about giving and receiving. Overgiving causes things to throw out of balance. Okay, but they're saying embrace this because it does represent maybe overthinking, overworking, overgiving, over, but also it represents it being over because it's a 10. Okay, and 10s break down to a 1, which is you stepping into this page energy. And we have the Page of Cups show up too. Okay, and that's what they want you to do right now, is start to look at things from a different perspective, from you actually having the key or having the answer or having the perspective that you need. And if you don't have that perspective, talk to your angels. That's a form of self-care. Say, God, angel, spirit, whatever you want to call them, it doesn't really matter. Energy, help me get the perspective I need to move into this new thing as a page. To embrace this new beginning and not come from this wounded place. Give me the perspective, the beginner's mind that I need. And then give it up to him. Before you know it, you'll start feeling lighter and capable again. Okay? So let's get a little bit more advice from Spirit, and then I'll send you off with a self-care card. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that the 8 of Cups would show up, the Knight of Pentacles, and then the Tower. I love that. And then we had another ending, the painful ending. But they want you to know with this being the underlying energy is that the breakthrough is definitely coming if you haven't been feeling the breakthrough, okay? Or just know you're kind of in the breakthrough. Things being shaken up is the breakthrough. It's causing you to be able to and wanting you to step into this page energy, this new energy. We're still feeling a little bit of scarcity with the 5 of Pentacles showing up. It's over. It's painful, but there's a new horizon because both of these women are walking into a new horizon. We're leaving what has been holding us back in the past, and mostly fear. And it shows up however it shows up individually because people are living their own perspectives. So if you understand that, you'll allow them to, and then you'll move on into your own horizon, okay? But this could indicate a couple of things, okay? They're wanting you to know that during this retrograde, there might be a few delays in certain things. And they're even saying, especially if you are traveling, in some way, we know that, Mercury can kind of be crazy with that energy. But, they're just definitely saying that there may be some delays, or you might be waiting to hear back on something, and you might think that it's dead, or you haven't heard anything back, so you're just like, whatever about it. Maybe you feel like you didn't get it or something. They're saying that idea or that opportunity is still in play, but there are some things that are changing, especially with this Tower energy behind the scenes. So you can it's still in play, of course, with the 8 of Cups, okay? So right now you just want to work on, because you're also becoming something else. You want to work on shifting your perspective during this retrograde, and they're really saying that it's probably going to show up closer to the end of the retrograde period, okay? So you work on just allowing these cycles to close and tuning into this new page energy. And that opportunity is still going to show up, is what they're saying. It is what it is. And if it does show up, drop it in the comments, okay? But they want you to know that this opportunity is still going to be showing up, okay? But there may be a few delays because there's things going on behind the scenes. And so your only work is to A, believe that it's still possible and true. B, work towards seeing yourself in that opportunity still. Still imagine you and your partner in the La Jolla house. Still imagine you on set with whoever, working with whoever. Okay, just still imagine that, because that's still in play. Okay, don't start letting the fact that you haven't heard back make you start doubting. Okay, and that really being implicit about it being some type of opportunity, especially with the Two of Wands showing up. And it could very well have to do with travel, okay, because they're also saying during Mercury, since there's delays, maybe this whole thing has been delayed until after the retrograde, because travel is also a thing that's heavily affected by that, okay? So, yeah, I think it's pretty obvious. I don't think we even need to pull any more cards, but they're definitely saying this retrograde is going to be a time about self-care, honest reflection, non-judgmental, loving yourself, listening to the nudges and guidance, and listening for the nudges and the guidance, because you're being guided towards that completion and that wish. And it's so funny because completion is crazy in this reading, with completion, the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Swords, as well as the Eight of Cups, as well as the Five of Pentacles, okay? And that's what they're saying, is that energy of, and then when I move it, we have becoming. That energy of scarcity and not having what you need, or feeling like you've been left out in the cold, or that things have been harder than they needed to be. The retrograde is going to be the catalyst for that big change, okay? So be mindful of that as things do show up, and realize that this is your time to integrate those boundaries into your who you are now and what you've been creating up to this point, okay? And like I said, don't kick yourself in the ass if you happen to fall back into it. Remember, you can still decide if this is for you the second you're aware. You'll receive the nudges, that's the listening, okay? But if you find yourself still letting that person back in, or still thinking these thoughts, or still doing this, and this with this job, just be like, that's okay, because this is information. I know I can't do this again, because you will get to a point, your intuition is going to say, remember why you wanted this to end? This thing was hurting you. It may seem like at least something's going on right now, but you wanted this stuff to end. Let it end, baby. And your body's going to tell you that until you finally say, no, you're still showing up like this? No, thank you. Or your body will be like, wow, this really has changed. You can stay. That's going to be a personal thing. Okay, so I hope something did resonate, Cancer, but just hang in there. This retrograde is, remember what I'm saying. It's really about, and I love that so much, that these are the self-care cards that showed up. This retrograde is about integration, okay? Embrace that word. And if you want to, go ahead and drop it in the comments so that you can claim it, because it is not about a reunion, and it is not about any other thing but for you to embody and activate, put in place these changes that you've made, okay? These boundaries that you've set in the face of people, in the face of thoughts, in the face of financial situations or business part, whatever it is. It's time for you to say, okay, I set these boundaries, and now I'm moving on these boundaries. This is what it is. I'm something else now. Okay, so if it did resonate, Please do like, share, subscribe. Please do support the channel, you guys. If you're interested in booking a reading, everything is always going to be in the description, or you can definitely DM me. I'm about to put together a couple of cool, spreads for unblocking and stuff. So you're going to want to definitely hit that subscribe button so that you can stay up on what's going on with the Cancer energy. I am Cancer Sun Moon, so I love the fact that I get to connect with you guys. Again, if you're interested in booking a reading or anything like that, please do just hit me up, okay? So we do have fresh start showing up, and we have soulmates showing up for those that are looking for a partnership. Once you let go, for those of you that are looking for any type of partnership, okay, because a soulmate does represent those love partnerships, but a soulmate does not only represent that, okay? A soulmate is about partnerships, solely guided partnerships or divine partnerships, and sometimes even those antagonists are the soulmates because they help you grow or they help you become who you've been through another phase of what you need to understand about yourself, because it really is all about you. It's coming from you, Cancer, and once you truly understand that, then you start looking at how to change what you're exuding, okay? So we have fresh start showing up. That's what this retrograde is all about. It says you're being given these opportunities to begin again and allow yourself to embrace the new life instead of that wounded place. This is for you to make that decision from this new perspective, okay? And open up fully to the gifts that you've already been given, okay? And then it says the divine will provide you with the love when you're ready. Now you put that in place. If you need a soul aligned business partner, the divine is going to provide you with that when you're ready. And it's only going to be when you're no longer exuding that wounded energy. Okay, and so if you're not finding it yet, that would be the place to start. Even just finding a place of hope. And you start doing that with that non-judgmental reflection. Okay, and most importantly, and I think, Cancer, we got this for self-care for one of the last readings. Avoid those toxic people, okay? You will feel, because we had it show up with soulmate, you're going to feel which one is going to be soul aligned and which one is toxic. Trust your intuition, because that's guidance, okay? This is guidance towards the people you are meant to be in contact with to help you into this new becoming that we did see, okay? So it says hang out with people who uplift you. Your spirit will not bring you down. And that is how you're going to know. You're going to listen. Because even if you let this person who keeps showing up back and forth back in, how does it feel? Does it feel like it's changed? If so, then you can maybe look deeper into it. If it hasn't, your body's going to tell you instantly, and it's up to you to listen to that guidance and move from a place of trust and understanding and faith and love, okay? So we are moving into a fresh start. Embrace this retrograde energy to use the information to walk away and move towards your new horizon, because we had completion show up so many times in here. It's staggeringly obvious, okay? So thank you again for watching. I am Mika, the Traveling Tarot. I love you guys. Take care of each other, okay? Peace.
Oh, I am the answer. I knew you're the reason why.
So there is going to be a level of you needing to make a decision when this past does show up.
The divine's time is fine, 'cause it has to be. It won't be late because it's mine. So tonight I'll be fine.
Hey, what is up, Cancer? Mika here, the Traveling Tarot, back with some messages from Spirit for my beautiful Cancer in regards to what you may need to know over this Mercury retrograde in regards to love. Now, these messages are for my single Cancers, or people that may be in separation, so that you can get a little clarity on what might show up for you over the next 30 days or so. We're getting ready to go into the retrograde in another day or two, and then it'll go on for about 30 days, okay? So this is going to help you understand what might be showing up, or how you may need to, maybe the reason why, or how you might want to respond, okay? So I'm going to start with just a Cupid's Arrow Oracle card to get an overarching energy, and then we're going to see what else they want my beautiful brothers and sisters in Cancer who are single or in separation to know about this retrograde period. What do you want my beautiful Cancer to know about this next 30 days, this retrograde period? These are for Cancer placements, Cancer watchers, as well as being general messages. So just take them as they resonate. However, as soon as something does resonate, you're going to want to look deeper as to why. And I love this so much because we have putting in the work and dedication showing up, okay? And so it says action that helps achieve goals, building the path to success, and it's saying staying dedicated to your goals and the efforts that you put in reaping success. They both are saying basically the same thing. So this may not, because a lot of the times it's not about you starting something new during the retrograde, but it's about you staying dedicated to your vision and still putting in the work no matter what shows up. And this falls right in line with the messages I was just getting as the overview for the retrograde. They want you to be aware that the past might show up, but you've been putting in the work now, so trust the feelings that you're receiving and see whether or not this is something that you want to continue to allow into your life. So this period is going to be about you staying dedicated to your vision, okay? No matter what shows up. Because a lot of the times, even if you're single or you're in a separation period, you can feel a little bit lonely. And so when the past shows up, you might think that this is the answer to what you've been asking for. But you'll know by how it feels if that's the truth. And you've been putting in so much work on yourself and, releasing and doing shadow work and things like that, that because you've been putting in the work, you have been attracting that partner in, okay? So do not allow what shows up during this retrograde to make you doubt. Maybe things haven't been moving as fast as you like, but don't let this past showing up make you doubt the work that you've been putting in, okay? Because it definitely says continue to take those actions towards your purpose and towards your vision, because you have been building the path to success. So when those things do show up during this retrograde, do not let it make you doubt what you've been creating. It's saying stay dedicated and tap into what fuels you and what's been fueling you, okay? Like I said, even if you fall back into a certain pattern, habit, or person, just know that you've been putting in the work. So you'll be able to tell if this situation has changed or not when it shows back up. And they're saying it's definitely going to be somebody from the past, okay? Maybe you guys, maybe it's an ex, or maybe it's a friend that you may have lost touch with or something like that. But they're saying feel into this, okay? And since you have been putting in the work, use that information. So if it doesn't feel right, go with that. If it does feel right, just look a little bit deeper into it. And I'm going to pull one more of these oracle cards, see if we can get a little more information on this person that is going to be showing up. Because what I found is that we're in a period of integration right now, so this might not show up until towards the end of the retrograde or fresh out of the retrograde, because there's this period of reflection right now where we're integrating the work that we've been putting in, and now so that we can embody that this coming month and start moving and attracting from that place. Remember what I said in my previous love readings, even though you may spiritually feel ready to go, you might still be exuding trauma of something that happened. So now we're in that period of, even if that thing that caused you the trauma shows back up, you to set that boundary within yourself and follow through on that boundary. So that you can be like, okay, yeah, no, I have this dedication to my vision. I meant no because I don't like how this makes me feel. I meant it. So it's going to be no, period. And so once you make that decision, that decisiveness helps you see what's kind of been trying to show itself to you this entire time, my beautiful Cancer. So trust in what you're receiving over the next 30 days. Do this non-judgmental reflection, and most importantly, do some evaluation to see if what you've been doing in terms of meeting people, has been working or giving back to you in any way. And if not, be open to another way of doing it, because one of the big things that showed up over the general overview for retrograde was lots of pages. So we're coming to that close of the cycle where, yes, this is almost like our ego's last ditch attempt to try to hang on to us. And so we're going to show ourselves, no, we've been putting in the work, we've been doing the actions, we've actively been seeing results, which means we have shifted our energy about it. We are dedicated to our vision. And so once those things show up and we finally give them the last little freaking energy phaser so they can get the hell out of our life, that's when you've integrated that boundary, and that's when you thrust forward for everything that's been waiting for you this entire time, but you have been working to get in alignment with, okay? Okay, I love this so much because the other card that does show up says it's not easy to get out of, but you don't want to either. You dive into each other's souls. Remember what I said about the past showing up, but it is going to show up to let you know where you are with it now, okay? And if you've been putting in the work, even though you might love this person or you might feel this attraction or connection with them, if the relationship is not at the same frequency of what you've been wanting, you're going to feel the discord, and that's going to be your cue to say, hey, you maybe haven't been putting in the work. You maybe haven't been putting in the work yet either, or maybe you have. It's literally just showing up so that you can be honest about where you're at with it, okay? And this really feels more like a separation. A twin flame dynamic, possibly. We did have soulmates showing up in one of the recent readings that I did. So it could just be a really important, significant connection. It doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. It could just be a deep friendship. But if it's not giving back to you, Cancer, because this period of retrograde is all about non-judgmental reflection and releasing reciprocity, releasing what's not giving to us and embracing what is, okay? So when this past does show up, since you have been putting in the work, if it still feels draining, then it's not ready for you yet. So you can choose to do whatever you want, but that's the thing that's not going to be able to come into your new reality. Because with the way frequency works is one is going to be more dominant. So if you allow it back in, it will eventually feed on you, and you'll end up, after all the work and dedication you've put into who you are now, feeling depleted again and feeling doubtful and insecure and things like that. Step fully into who you're becoming, and that's what this retrograde is going to bring, okay? The real people who are going to come once you integrate these new boundaries. And when I say integrate with dedication, decide that this is the answer. Well, maybe I'm a little bit alone, so maybe he's not that bad. He is kind of insulting sometimes, or he is condescending sometimes. No. The answer is no, I don't put up with that, so I don't do that. Somebody came up and said, do you smoke? And you don't smoke. The answer is no, I don't want a cigarette because I don't smoke. So once you get to that level of dedication about who you've become, and the answer is an absolute no to this type of person or to this type of behavior, you've solidified that boundary. Now you've integrated it into who you really are. So it's no from now on. No. And once it's no from now on, all of the yeses can actually reveal themselves to you because there's no confusion there. So there is going to be a level of you needing to make a decision when this past does show up. If you find yourself falling back into it, once you get back into that place of awareness, fall right back into line of it's no. It's a no. It's going to be a no for me. Okay? And we have he or she, because these are female cards, but he or she breaks free. They run away from the darkness and into the light to you. Maybe it'll be too late then. That they're really, really saying here that right now it is super important for you to set these boundaries from a place of clarity. Okay, because the past is getting ready to show up, and that's why it says, he's running away from darkness and to the light. So this person could, it's a fly, my bad. This person could be showing up, and that's so crazy that the fly would show up right now because I don't ever have flies in my house. And I just did a reading earlier, and the fly showed up for the finance reading about being a pest. And so I literally, as I was reading this card, that fly flew back in to let you know that when this person shows back up, it's because he is running away from his darkness and he's being drawn to your light. It is not so much that this is a reunion. It is for you to set that boundary and say no more giving without getting back what I need. I cannot keep pouring everything into something that is receiving the hell out of me, but is not giving me one thing back. Okay, so that's so crazy, and they're really, really wanting me to highlight. That's why that fly flew back in, is to let you know, as I was reading this card, it's gonna fly in as an annoyance, and it's because he's running away from whatever is going on his side that he doesn't really want to deal with, and he finds comfort. He or she finds comfort in your light, and so it's almost like a vampire, to be honest, where they're there to suck from you because you make them feel the light. But the problem with that is that it drains you, and that's unacceptable now. No more of that. We have to have this balance and this reciprocity in this relationship, and you'll be able to feel it if you've been putting in the work. And based on what they're saying here, if you decide to stay dedicated, because you have been putting in the work and you decide to stay dedicated, you've now made the decision that this energy is no longer acceptable in my life, and so it will fade away. And it will show up in the things that are acceptable in your life now, the things you're embracing now. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and pull an area of focus out of the tarot here and see if we can get a little more information on this person from the past that's actually going to be showing up during this retrograde. And again, it is only for you to see where you really are with this thing so that you can deal with it from a place of honesty and integrate your new boundaries into this connection. Okay? And this is going to be for separation. This is going to be for singles. And again, maybe it's a person in a relationship and it doesn't even have to do with a romantic partnership. It could just be a friendship or something that shows up. If it still feels like it's draining, even for a moment, that's your cue to not let not let it come in and undo all the work that you've been doing. Okay? And it's going to continue to get uncomfortable, so you'll know even if you don't get it right out of the gate. I stopped and we had justice showing up just to let you know that it is meant for you to have that reciprocity, Cancer. It's time for you to receive what your effort, the reward for the effort you've been putting into even just changing who you are and how you respond. So let's see how they want you to focus over this retrograde period. or what would be the greatest place to focus so that you can integrate these boundaries. I love that. I think it's the lovers. Yeah, no, it's so perfect. Because remember what I said about you integrating. That's exactly what this represents. What place, when this shows up, is it in line with who you are now, your values? It also represents that choice that you're going to need to make when this shows up. It's going to be that crossroads of, am I doing this from a place of just wanting anybody here right now? Or because it's always been this person that I'm allowing this to happen? If it's not fulfilling you or not in line with who you are now, then they're saying you want to make the decision to move towards and integrate towards the boundaries that you've been setting all of this time. It's a 6 card, so they want you to move towards that harmony, and that also represents that justice energy that we just showed up, which is about balance. Okay? It is about reciprocity. It is about giving back in the ways that you have been getting back in the ways that you have been giving. Okay? And they want you to know that even though this person shows up, because this Lover's card also, for me, represents definitely keeping your eyes on the prize. It represents no matter what shows up, because you might have some temptation going on here, especially with passion showing up. I believe there's some Mars energy going on during this period as well, and it comes out of this confusion which dark clouds represent. All of this stuff might be coming, including in the face of challenges, temptation. Keep your eyes on your prize. Stay dedicated to your vision and don't let this person showing up, friend or ex-lover, whatever, change who you've become now. Okay, it's going to be an ask for you to make the decision to stay dedicated to your vision. Keep your eyes on the prize and you're going to see the progress, especially towards the end of this retrograde period, okay? And we have the Queen of Cups showing up, and she showed up in the money reading. This is that time that I say that as you're doing that integration, you're tapping into self-love and self-care. So it should be very easy for you to say no. I love myself too much to put up with this. Why am I going to do this? Why am I going to keep doing this? It makes me feel like this about myself. No, thank you. I mean, you have to get brutally honest here, but it's going to be that time for you to be nurturing. When I say nurturing, Cancer, it is you making a decision about what you want and what you need. It's going to be based on that. So if somebody is trying to get you to do something and you don't want to do it, I love you. I really do. But you know what? I can't. I have to go do this for me. I have to give to me first. And if I have time, I'll get to it. And you're not even doing it from a place of being a dick. It's the time for us to take care of ourselves. And again, integrate all of that queen energy of the clarity we now have of the Queen of Swords, the passion and the confidence that we have of the Queen of Wands, and the groundedness and ease that we have of the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, it's time for us to embody that Queen of Cups deeply and emotionally and integrate all of those queens into who we now are, okay, from a loving and authentic place. All we have to do is make that decision based on what matters to us, okay, and that's really what they're asking us to do. What kind of challenges might show up for my beautiful Cancer? Well, during this retrograde period, in terms of relationships or partnerships or connection, this Cancer needs to know as a challenge. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, look. Couple of things, okay? First of all, it really depends on how this relationship ended, on whether or not you might still feel like this person is getting away with something, or they maybe deceived you or lied or cheated on you, whatever. Remember, they want you to tune in to why you're not with that person anymore. This person, when they show up, it says they break free. They're running away from their darkness and to you. You're basically like a crutch or a safety, a comfort zone. They're saying this time it's going to be too late because you're working towards integrating the new boundaries that you've already set. But also, the Seven of Swords represents strategy, it represents stealth, but it also represents a peaceful resolution. Take what you've gotten from this situation and use it. Take the clarity and the new perspective that you've gotten since you've been putting in the work, and just peaceful resolution coming through for it, okay? Because you're just tuning into, or maybe even trying to find a peaceful resolution, but there might still be some resentment with this showing up in the challenge about why this ended. And so that's still an emotionally charged response. But if you stay dedicated to the work you've been putting in and who you are now, this person showing up is irrelevant. It should not change what you now are deciding you are, or how you now are going to relate to others in a connection or a relationship or in a love partnership, okay? This also represents with the Four of Pentacles, which is why this really feels most like it feels most like a peaceful resolution, or taking what you've gotten and leaving behind the things that happened, or going back to that old, town that you feel that you needed to sneak out of. So they're definitely saying, take what you've got, hold on to it, use it to lift you higher, but don't let it pull you back in. Remember, this person showing up is not about a reunion. It is about integration. And that's 100% the message they want you to know for this retrograde in terms of love. When this person shows up, friendship, partnership, somebody that matters to you, or that mattered to you, that you had to work towards moving on from, when they show up, use it as integration of your new boundaries. It is not a reunion, okay? Even with the lovers showing up, unless they're aligned with your new purpose, they can stay. Otherwise, the boundaries still have to be in play. And then you'll get to see where you actually are and start working towards getting more dedicated to your vision. But take what you learned from this integration, take from what you learned from this partnership showing back up, use it to take what you need from it and leave behind what it used to be. Okay? Let's go ahead and get one advice from Spirit, and then I'll get you guys a inner child card to see what your inner child will need during this retrograde, and then we will go ahead and send you on your beautiful way. What advice do you have for my lovely Cancer who might be experiencing this separation or have this unexpected reunion, how they best can move towards the peaceful resolution? And I feel like it's definitely staying aligned with your values, especially with the Lover's card showing up as keep your eyes on the prize. Stay dedicated with this dedication card to your passions and to who you've now become. It's feeling lonely, it sucks, but being in a situation that you know you no longer fit in sucks more, especially because it now involves other people. Oh, I love that so much. You have the 8 of Wands showing up. I love that so much. And the Wheel of Fortune. They're saying this 8 of Wands is showing up as the advice to let you know that it is time to focus on where you're headed, especially with the work you've been putting in. And they're also saying that once you make that decision or cut that tie when this past shows up, things are going to move forward very, very quickly, because remember what I've always said is that you're pulling back a slingshot or something, and it catapults forward once you align with it, because it's still moving, okay? Where you're headed is going to move very fast. They're also saying that there could be some type of travel coming up, or some type of travel or swift movement. You might be, once you make this decision, you're going to move towards that partnership that is coming through for you, okay? Because you have now freed up the space. Thank you. You have now freed up the space and freed up the energy by deciding. And decide means to cut off. To make a decision means there's no other options. There's no confusion. There's no back and forth. It's no, I don't smoke. So no, I don't want a cigarette. No, I don't drink. So I don't want to drink. No, I don't believe in scarcity consciousness. So I know that abundance is flowing freely, and I know that the universe is going to provide, and I know that I have the faith that you know what I'm saying? That's that decision. That even if this thought shows up, even if this person shows up, even if you still love this person, if it doesn't feel right, you've made the decision that it has to feel a certain way. And if it doesn't, it's not for me. Okay? And so once you make that decision, things swiftly turn in your favor with the Wheel of Fortune showing up as well. Okay? It's just a matter of you deciding that I'm going to stay dedicated to my vision and all the work that I've put in, and I trust that no matter what shows up from the past, could be thoughts, but it really feels like it's going to be a person, because they're definitely saying that this person is right now running away from their shadow self, and they can feel the comfort and the light in you. And so if you've been putting in the work, they feel like you're attracting also those that need it. And so he or she running to you is so that they can feel that comfort. You are moving on from being that comfortable blanket that people run to, but you don't have the blanket to go to. And it's like, no, wait, there has to be reciprocity here. And if you're just running to me because I'm the light, I want to be that beacon of light, but I'm not here to save you. Okay, my light is here to help you find your light. And so if you're draining my light, I can't do it, bruh. No, ma'am. Okay, but they do want you to know that you want to focus on where you're heading with this Eight of Swords, and focus on ease and things flowing with ease, especially. And as soon as you do make that decision, things turn in your favor. So once you cut off this energy of this past, look, even if the person doesn't physically show up, or it happens to get recommended on the For You page or some shit, whatever it is, okay, there's a message in that. Do something to say no more, and make that decision and mean it, which means it's a no if it shows up. Once you do that, things move very, very fast, okay? And it seems like you might even be traveling and meeting that person once you make that decision. Maybe you're just like, nope, I'm moving out. I gotta go. I can't do it. No, I'm not doing it no more. Once you say no, and you stop doing should I stay or should I go, that song's even coming to my head right now, should I stay or should I go? Once you say no thank you and mean it, you start to move towards the partnership that's been waiting to come in, the one that is aligned with your purpose and your values and your spiritual rider, okay? But things are going to be moving very swiftly in your favor here once you get through this period of kind of non-judgmental reflection. And you don't even have to be like, oh no, you don't even have to be a dick about it, is the truth. You can say, you know what? I know my worth. I know what I want. I trust the universe, and I know that I'm being guided to my true purpose. And so that means I'm not going to settle for things that are not aligned with me. That's people, that's opportunities, that's behaviors. Things that are not aligned with me, I'm not going to put up with it anymore. And so now that I'm making space for that, the things that are aligned with me have the space to come in. And I trust that they're coming in. Period. Make that statement, make that decision, and you will see incredible progress. Okay? So I hope something resonated, Cancer. I'm sending you so much love, because the past can look very different for a lot of people. And so if it's something that you may have felt bound to, or someone you may have felt bound to, use this time to see if it's in line with who you are now. And they're saying, if you can stay dedicated to your vision, just stay dedicated to your vision, because you have been putting in so much work. It's going to catapult you into, especially towards the end of the retrograde, maybe even right after the retrograde. They're saying the retrograde is the period of reflection and integration. And then shortly after that, it'll catapult you into the power that you now hold, because you're saying no to the old version of your story. Okay? I love that so much. With the inner child cards, we have be present. So if something did resonate, Cancer, please do like, share, subscribe. Please do share the love here. If you're looking for a reading, you can certainly DM me, or you can hit me up on the link in the description. And yeah, I'm here for us. You're getting info from a Cancer to a Cancer. And yeah, I love being able to communicate with you and share my experiences with you, because a lot of the times, especially when it comes through a spiritual awakening, you really hear the heavy part of, just be positive, everything's going to be fine, just ignore it. And it's like, okay, well, how do I do that? And you make it, or it almost makes you feel like people are telling you how to do something, instead of helping you understand that I'm doing this stuff. That's how I know. I'm not just talking at you, Cancer. I do love you. I'm here with you, okay? And so please do subscribe for more readings, more helpful tips, more support and community during this Cancer awakening, okay? But I will say, out of the inner child cards, be present is going to be the best way for you to move into this situation, okay? Because the thing about a retrograde is, a lot of the times you start to reminisce on the past. And again, you might, depending on where you are energetically, might look at the past as being a better option because it's better than being alone. Or I'm sick and tired of being alone. Or I missed when we were together and now we're not. They want you to look, if you stay present and how it feels in your body and how it's making you feel, it'll bring more moments of clarity for you, okay? If you're feeling in this moment confusion, just know that more moments of confusion follow. So if you just stay present, is everything okay right now? Then I think it's probably going to still be okay. Okay? And it really is about your perspective, and it does take work, but they're saying be present. Find clarity in each moment, and you'll receive more moments of clarity. But let's see what your inner child will need during this retrograde. Ooh. Definitely a lot of cards. Oh, it's 4. This is a general reading, so let's see what they say you might need. We have let love guide you at the bottom of the deck, and that's that guidance system. That's that Queen of Cups energy that we are. Because if we're embodying the Queen of Cups energy, that means we've found the clarity that the Queen of Swords is. That means we've tapped into the confidence and the passion of the Queen of Wands. And that means, and leadership of the Queen of Wands. And that means that we've found a way to ground ourselves into ease and allowing the universe to provide, and knowing that the universe does provide of the Queen of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Cups, which is us, we embody all of those things by infusing it with love and nurturing and giving that love to everyone else, okay? But during this retrograde, Cancer, I am going to take these 4 cards because, you know, this is a general reading and because all of us could use this. They want you to review your responsibilities, and it's a 28 card that breaks down to a 10. They kind of want you to cut out those things that are not working. Okay, if you've been going to this same place and not having great results to meet people, maybe try it another way. Or if tearing up the club has been your way, but you always meet the same kind of people, try going to some other place and meeting people. But they're definitely saying, during this retrograde, do it from a place of what you like to do, because starting something new is not going to be a great idea until you've had a chance to close out these cycles. Okay, and that'll give you this retrograde is the time for you to do that. It says, not all responsibilities are ours to hold. Okay, review where you've been putting your energy and decide no more. Once you say no, do what you can to mean it, and you're going to see evidence of whether or not you're still on the fence about it. Because when you say no, just like when you truly let go, the evidence shows up right away. Okay? The next information is connect to the eternity within. Use your magic. This is a 9 card. It's all about closing out those cycles, knowing, tuning into knowing, and also letting that love guide you, which this is a 24 card. It's all about harmony. Breaks down to a 6. 6s represent moving on or release or relief or finding peace or making peace, acceptance. It says, let yourself be held by love. Let love guide you. These are the things your inner child wants you to mainly focus on and tune into, okay? Because you do know the way, so let love guide you. Connect to the eternity within and remember who you are, even when the past shows up, okay? We have, you can do this. It might be hard, Cancer, but you can do this. You've been putting in the work. In fact, you're probably sick and tired of the back and forth, so you might even be at a point where you're like almost like Muhammad Ali. Let's go. Show up. I got something for that ass. Shit. Seriously, you might just be so sick of it that you're like, it's a definite no. So go ahead and show up. It says you can do hard things. It is not as impossible as it feels, okay? And truthfully, we have that as a 41 breaking down to a 5. Stop telling yourself that it's going to be hard. Stop telling yourself that it has to take long. Stop telling yourself these same stories and embrace the fact, excuse me, that also can represent needing to speak up. Embrace the fact that the wheels are turning in your favor, okay? And the final one is flow with the rhythm. That also is a 14 breaking down to a 5. Let the cycles close, Cancer, so that you can receive the freedom and the peace and the abundance and the love and the joy and all the work you've been putting in and the peaceful resolutions and the ease on the flow. Okay, they want you to flow with the rhythm. Get lost in the rhythm of movement. Okay? Tap into dancing. Just like, it doesn't matter if anybody's watching. Just tap into dancing. You don't have to film it for TikTok or anything like that. Just tap into feeling free. Okay? And you will receive more things that make you feel free. And when this person does show up, not only are they saying, as you're out there kind of just feeling free, maybe even going out dancing or doing something you don't usually do, taking a dance class, they're saying that's when you're going to meet this new person. It is going to be after you've done this work of absolutely cutting off this last energy, the remnants of this last energy that may show up. It looks like they might show up. They might slide into your DMs. They might show up physically. They might even just show up on your page somewhere in the For You or whatever, and next thing you know, you're making that decision that this ends here for real. Then you start to see things flow and the blocks being removed, and now you're moving towards flowing with the rhythm of life, and now you're moving towards the person that is been waiting for you to align with them. Okay, so start putting yourself out there unapologetically. And if you don't align with my values and my purpose, I'm going to make the decision, because the Lover's card is a decision card, to say no. No to this. Period. Okay? So again, I do hope something resonated, Cancer. I do love that I get to do this. I'm so blessed to have you guys here watching. I do hope something does help you through this. I'm here to help in any way that I can, so feel free to, book a reading if you're interested, or if you just need a little clarity, see how I can help you, just let me know. DM or click the link in the descriptions, and yeah. I think that's about it for me. So, thank you again for watching, Cancer. I do love you, okay? Take care of each other. Peace.
Oh, I am the answer. I knew you're the reason why.
This is time for you to turn that, to integrate this new energy so that your body is no longer exuding that. And once you do that, Cancer, it's going to blow up. Hey there, what is up, my beautiful Cancers, brother and sister? Mika here, the Traveling Tarot, back with some Mercury retrograde messages from Spirit in regards to career and finance. Okay, so we are getting ready to go into a retrograde. It's going to be about 30 days, right around like the 17th, 18th of July, going into August. And if you find this after the fact and there's a retrograde going on, then those messages will apply to you. Okay, so I'm just going to go through and see what messages Spirit has. These are for Cancer placements, Cancer watchers, and they are general, so take them as they resonate. But just know, even in the general reading that I just did, Cancer, anything that does show up is meant to be used as information for you to reflect on, even the good things. Okay, so you want to do a non-judgmental reflection on whatever does show up in regards to your money, and you want to use that information because it is still all to get you to go here into this new. Okay, because in that last reading that I did for general messages for Cancer, so many pages showed up that it was obvious that a cycle has closed and that now you're meant to use this information in a new way. Okay, and also before I started this video, which I never have a fly in my house, believe it or not, but I literally just had to tangle with the fly right before I was about to do this. So there may be some, because some of the inspiration I got with that damn fly was that there may be some pesky little things that show up as this is a retrograde. Do not shy away from these things, Cancer. Okay, they want you to embrace what's showing up, whether even if it is your shadow side, and just decide, I love you, I'm going to get through this, we're going to get through this together. Okay, no matter what shows up, don't use it as a reflection of life is always this way. They want you to use that information to say, okay, maybe I'm beating my head against the wall here, but if I try a different way, it might work. And if actually they're really saying that if you do try a different way, it's going to work, because the point is to shake things up. Okay, so I am going to pull one of these Cosmic Dreamscape cards, but as I was saying all of that, the bottom of the deck we had opposition show up, which is all about making compromises. Remember what I said about, you know, maybe you're doing some reevaluation during this retrograde that shows up, so you may have to first of all find a place of acceptance. 100%, no matter where you are, try to do that right now. Whether it's your business, whether it's your finances looking a little shoddy, try to find a place of acceptance right now, okay? Because that's going to be the most progress that you'll make without having to actually do anything, but just try to be okay right now, okay? And work towards how you've been doing things. That's what that make compromises showing up really feels like. It's like, okay, this reflective retrograde, what has been working, what has not been working, because even in my own personal readings and things like that, I've been getting right on down to evaluate where you're placing your energy. See if it's still giving back to you, and if it's not and hasn't been, then maybe that's going to be something that you're going to want to say, how can I do this another way, or how can I go ahead and let it go? Okay, because that's also what a retrograde is all about. That's why things show up from the past, also thoughts, people, even that reflective period of, okay, maybe return back to something that you used to love to do that you might want to bring into this new beginning with you, Cancer, okay? So let's just get an oracle card so we can get an overarching energy, and then I'll pull a career and money card as well. Yeah, I love this so much, and it's so perfect because it's exactly what I just said. We have Virgo energy showing up. That is what this period is all about. It is getting practical about what is working and what is not working. It says, tidy up your life. You are fine-tuning this transition and this transformation. This is also how you realize, because in the general retrograde, this whole period for us, Cancer, is about integration. It doesn't matter if you're focused on creating or a business or money, or if you're focused on love or physical condition. It is about now taking the boundaries that you set, using what you've learned to fine-tune what you're doing now, okay? And so that is why this reflective time, you're going to want to non-judgmentally, and Virgos are very practical, so they're definitely saying you want to use that Virgo energy, get practical about what's working, get practical about what's been draining you, and cut that shit out, straight up, okay? Because we had it show up with descendant energy as well, which makes a lot of sense because this actually says 2 is better than 1. You are tidying up that vibration so that you can attract the people and the partnerships, whether it's love, business, whatever, those partnerships that are aligned, okay? Because that's what the integration period does. It helps you now say, okay, I love myself enough, I've set these boundaries, and I love myself enough to now live these boundaries. Okay, I call it the spiritual rider. A celebrity has a contract where they say, in order for me to play, you got to have the green M&Ms. You got to have roses in my room, in the green room. My family has to be able to come, things like that. So I call it a spiritual rider, and I offer this in my I Came to Win course, which the link will be in the description if you're interested. And at the very least, create your spiritual rider. That's what this month is going to be about. Now that I have released, and now that I've surrendered, and now that I've received, and this and that, how am I going to integrate these boundaries into my life? Because those things might also show up, because a retrograde typically has that happen, so that you can face those and say, this is physically in front of me now. What am I going to choose? And even if you find yourself falling back into an old practice or an old process, you have moved so far past that old process that your awareness will kick in eventually, and you'll be able to fall right back in line, because it's about you refining, tidying up, as well as redefining. When I pick that up, we have the North Node showing up, okay? It's all about you embracing your true purpose and redefining the way that you've been doing things. If you've always been alone, it's time for you to embrace the fact that you might have a partnership that's coming in, okay? And if it does show up, it will be obvious that it's from spirit, okay? Because one of the things I found, in fact, fairly recently, is that even though it did look like support when it showed up, when it started to feel out of the initial engagement, there were red flags that I was like, oh no, because I was just so happy to have some type of support show up. They're saying, don't do that. You really want to look at things from a place of who you are now, and not from a place of that wounded person who just is so happy that people are here. Okay, you want soul-aligned partnerships, and you do that by redefining, refining, non-judgmental reflection, and then deciding what gets to stay and what gets to go, because you're moving into your purpose. You're not moving into it, you're in it. It's all been a part of it. Thank God, okay? Because now that means you've moved past the hardest parts, Cancer. And that's not saying there's not going to be challenges, but you've made it this far. You're strong enough to know you can make it, so whatever is going to show up is going to pale in comparison to what you've already been through, okay? So embrace that. It's the truth. Okay, so I'm going to pull one of these career and money cards, but I love this so much, because as soon as I pick this deck up for us, Cancer, this retrograde is we have watch. Okay, so they want you to stay aware of what is showing up, because like I said, for that integration, are you truly the person that you've been saying that you are now? Because it's going to show up. It might even feel familiar. That might also be a trigger to say, hey, I don't want familiar anymore. I'm somebody else now, and I would love to see who I am and what I can do from this place of alignment. The second you decide that that's true, you now begin to set that new precedence. You've integrated who this person is, and now this person is creating from a place of alignment. Okay? It says it's time to profit, divine timing, which is what this is all about as well, seizing the moment. And it does say waiting period, and again, that is also, look, we are so sick of hearing about a waiting period as Cancers. I'm not even going to bullshit you. We are so sick of hearing the word wait, we are about to vomit. Real talk, okay? However, we also understand there's a gestation period. And what I was just saying, even in the last several readings that I did for Cancer, is that's that gestation period, okay? So that waiting period does represent what we've been in, but this also, that period of this retrograde might feel like more waiting because you're doing an integration. Remember what we were saying about now embodying these changes that we made? That's what this month is going to be. And once you do that, you shift that physical signal that you may have been giving off, because you may be spiritually ready to go, but your body might still be giving off that trauma. This is time for you to turn that, to integrate this new energy so that your body is no longer exuding that. And once you do that, Cancer, it's going to blow up. The right people, the right places, the right everything. And it doesn't have to take long, because they're definitely saying, you know, you may have been in some type of waiting period. You may have been just taking jobs, odd jobs here or there. Money's been a little weird. But, or even laid off, they said here, okay? But right now, there's going to be, this integration is going to bring in the profit or the ROI that you've been putting out, okay? But remember what I said about you tidying things up and saying, am I going to keep on banging my head against the wall trying to force this thing to work? Or am I going to do a quick scan, see what is working, and put my energy into that? Because that's where the fun is, okay? And that's why that's giving back to you. So we can say, oh, okay, well, you know what? Let me at least put more energy into this than this. That doesn't mean you have to stop this method, but once you stop obsessing about this having to be the thing, not only does that free up, but now you're redirecting your focus onto the thing that is working. So more that will work will come your way, okay? But yeah, it's good. This is going to be all about divine timing, trusting that, and seizing that moment when it shows up, okay? Because the moment you get aligned with it, that's when it happens. That's how you know you're aligned with it, okay? So let's get one of these career money cards and see what's going to show up for us for this retrograde. And then we'll jump into some area of focus and challenge and advice. Ooh, I love that so much, because you just saw me shuffle and watch still showed up at the bottom of the deck. They mean it. It's time to profit here, okay? Something is happening in divine timing, especially during this time as you're focusing on what is working. Get real honest and real non-judgmental about your list of what is working, not what you wish would work. What is working right now based on what I'm doing? How am I going to use that instead of me trying to force it to be this? Because it's not, again, not that it's not going to be this, but maybe there's some other things that need to come together before that becomes a thing too. Okay, but we do have, ooh, I love this so much. We have face and we have seal showing up. That's why I say this is a period of things coming together. Yes, you're integrating your new boundaries and your new way of moving, but that's making those opportunities move a different way and closer to you, because it has money skills, it has investors, it has taking a risk. It also says face value, so you do want to take things at face value, okay? This is not going to be a time to try to lead with your emotions, okay? Especially when it comes to your paper. When it comes to your paper, you want to be real about what's going on so that you can get your money right, because it's a form of balance as well. So when everything is in balance, that is when you most feel abundant and attract abundance, okay? We have self-made, we have fame, we have reputation, and we have exposure. Like I said, as you integrate this new version of you, you do start to blow up. And not only this, because it says it's time to profit, divine timing, you are now putting energy into what is working. So like I said, you're now attracting what is working, okay? And it did show up with business contracts, documents, and money gifts, okay? So you might want to, it says writing, it does say clerical, paperwork, and it says maybe you don't want to make during this retrograde period any major changes, because what's really saying is that these partnerships are coming into being behind the scenes. And so if you shift and try to just act right now, especially during this retrograde, because obviously they say during a retrograde, don't really get into anything new. You don't really want to try to start something new and during a retrograde, especially financially. Allow these, just work on that integration, honestly, and these contracts and the gifts is what they're definitely saying in the paperwork that's coming in the form of the partnerships that we had with the descendants showing up. They want you to be aware that there's something happening in the background, and not only is it going to require you to sign some type of a contract, but it's going to bring you some type of recognition, fame, and you're going to be paid for your value. Hell, investor just stood out. So whatever, take that as that resonates. Maybe you might want to start looking into finding investors, or have, come up with some type of a business plan or a sponsorship proposal where you could start having people help you become or reach the scale that you're seeking in your business or financially, because it did say gift of money, it said business contract, it said paperwork, and it said writing. Okay, so maybe it could be, if you're a writer or you write some type of content or scripts or something like that, you might be getting some type of recognition here, but it is going to be after this retrograde period, because what they're saying is it's, especially the first parts of this retrograde, it's only going to be about you integrating your new perspective. Okay, and you'll get the nudges as you do that, because remember, we had divine timing and watch still show up. You're still going to be receiving those nudges, and then as you do tidy things up with this Virgo energy, practically moving towards now what is working, focusing on what is working, not only do you start to get recognition, but you attract investors. You're looking more into money strategy and fine-tuning your money skills. And it's kind of funny, because I literally was saying this, because I talk to myself all the time. I mean, I need expert advice. But I was literally saying, you know what? I'm not like coming from a scarcity mindset, but now I really truly am focused on being smarter about money. And I love that awareness, because money's always been an issue in my life. And so for me to start feeling confident in money, or even just making moves and things like that, or moving from a place of trust, that's really a huge movement forward. And that's me, because I actually, even though I'm Cancer Sun Moon, I'm Virgo rising. That's that Virgo in me saying, hey, I can be all emotion and all water and all, but I'm going to need to ground myself in practical practices if I want to have success financially. And this is mainly because it's all about balance. If your finances are out of balance, then you are going to be experiencing some type of scarcity. Or if there's no balance in reciprocity, there's going to feel a need to not be able to stop, or I'll lose this, or something like that. Okay, so even if you are having success, it still has to be, where is this coming from? so that you can continue on the success, or you're going to exhaust yourself by feeling like you need to hold on to this, okay? But yeah, the first parts of the retrograde, which I think is going to be in a day or two, going all the way till around the 11th or 12th of August, this one is lasting about 30 days. Once we come out of that, and I would say around mid-August, they're definitely confirming, that's when you're going to see the most evidence of the tidying up that you've been doing during the retrograde period. Use this next 30 days to tidy things up. Get clear and honest about what's working, non-judgmentally, because you're ready to see success. You're ready to get some ROI on your investment, and they're saying if you do this, you're now going to align with your new purpose and not be exuding that scarcity, and you're now going to see the recognition, maybe even investors, gifts of money, contracts, partnerships, because we did have partnership. 2 is better than 1. We had partnership show up. You're now going to be aligned with the divine timing, because the time is now. When I picked this up, we had the rose show up. It's all about financial relief. It says being content. Right now, you just have to find a place of acceptance, okay, in order to experience this financial relief. And you're going to be playing some type of supportive role or growing, okay? But right now is not the time to really start anything new. Right now is time for you to get very clear on what you're going to put your energy into once this retrograde is over. Okay, at least until about the end of it. Okay, but the first part of it is for you to say, "Nah, this is how this is going to look, and this is how it's going to make me feel, and it has to be this in my spiritual rider." Okay, I'm creating my spiritual rider for this next 30 days, so that when things start to show up after this retrograde, I know exactly what to do. I know if this is in my rider, I'm going to look into it. If you're not talking my language, I'm going to just say no, because I believe there's more opportunities. Okay, and that's where we're getting at a place of belief and integration. So let's see what area of focus, but we do have the 9 of Pentacles actually showing up. It's like I said, it's to move you into that self-sufficiency. But you do want to be guided there, and we did have investor, and you're going to need to take risk, but you do want to take things at face value, especially when this business contract shows up, because you don't want to read too much into something. You want to take it for what it says. It's a contract, for fuck's sake. You want to be smart about it. Like I said, tap into the practicality of Virgo and say, okay, I need to get honest and practical about how I'm going to get my paper right, or how I'm going to grow my audience, or how I'm going to get more clients, or how I'm going to whatever. And you don't necessarily have to come up with a plan, but you want to be open to it being a different way. Okay, so let's see what the area of focus is going to be as we jump into the Pulp Tarot. What do you want Cancer to know for the area of focus? Ooh, I love that so much, because it's the 3 of Pentacles energy, and it makes sense because we were just talking about the partnerships. They're definitely saying, Cancer, this is going to be a time, especially as you're doing that non-judgmental reflection, because we do have the Queen of Pentacles showing up, for you to look into, like I said, you don't have to start anything, but you want to start using this non-judgmental time to look into partnerships or possible collaborations, okay? Or something like that that's going to help you pool your talents and maybe make this into a bigger thing, okay? And that falls right in line with the contracts, because you might be when, after you start doing the reflection, you might be attracting those collaborations, and that's going to make you need to sign contracts or go into partnerships or make deals. And so you just want to hone your money skills by tidying up your perspective of money, how you feel about money, how you've been allowing money to move you. And then, like I say, you have investors showing up as well. And that might also be the collaboration, because we have investor and we have contracts showing up with the 3 of Pentacles. as well as 2 is better than 1. So be open to collaborations, okay? But with the Queen of Pentacles showing up, not only does it represent you manifesting those things, especially as you tidy up, but you want to do it from a place of ease and flow. Remember, the overarching energy of our awakening right now, Cancer, is that it's a quiet awakening, okay? It is going to be through rest and reflection that you see these outcomes. It is not going to be more action, okay? And you want to take the ease and the confidence of, because the Queen of Pentacles to me would be equivalent to the Nine of Pentacles, which is you have that confidence that it just flows to you, okay? It's just easy. You don't need to get out there and do anything right now during this retrograde. You're just preparing the atmosphere because this stuff is coming to you. And that's what they really want to be implicit about. Let me get one more for the area of focus, because they're just, and they're saying, like I said, you're not starting anything new, but maybe make a list of possible people you might want to. And honestly, it doesn't even have to be just people you could collaborate with, because we create our own reality. Name some people that you would love to work with and really see yourself in that position, and just let the universe handle the details, and you be blown away at how things will show up. Because once this retrograde is in full effect, you're going to be in a place of needing to sign some type of contract because some type of investor or partnership is coming through. So you just want to work on what you bring to the table and what you're exuding, so that you can put yourself in a place of expectancy for this. Okay, let me get one more, please, for this area of focus for my beautiful Cancers. Queen of Cups. There you are, Cancer. This is going to be the time. Remember what I was literally just saying? It isn't a time for you to go run out there and try to do more. It is the time for you to do this through that self-care, through that nurturing, through that taking care of yourself, through that setting boundaries and integrating those boundaries into now who you are. No longer accepting less. Accepting that you not only deserve more, but you are more. The Queen of Cups is the queen that kind of has it all. She has the clarity of the Queen of Swords. She has the clarity of the Queen of Pentacles. She has the clarity and the passion of the Queen of Wands, and the confidence of the Queen of Wands. So she can just love. She can do things from a nurturing and loving place because she has that groundedness in all of those queens. And it shows up with the Ten of Cups. Right now you are only moving from a place of fulfillment. That's going to fall right in line with how you're tidying things up. What do I feel like doing? And it's very interesting because as a content creator, you can get into this loop of needing things to turn out a certain way, and that really does drain you. It really takes away from what you really, the whole purpose of even starting a channel is because I love doing this. And it's like, okay, if I start getting lost in the numbers, then now I'm not doing things from a place of fulfillment. And so one of the major things that I got for my own personal reading and channeled was ask myself, what do I feel like doing today? What would feel the most aligned? If I didn't have to try to worry about getting people to see it, would I still be happy doing it? And the way that I'm doing it now feels so much more fulfilling. And so they're saying the more you move towards what's fulfilling and just do it from a loving place and do it from a self-care and nurturing, authentic place. That's the other thing about the queens. They're authentic because they're grounded in what they know. And if she's coming from an emotional love place, and God is love, and that's why God embodies all of those things, the clarity, the financial, physical existence, as well as passion. That's why love is all of it. Okay, but this retrograde financially is going to be about you asking yourself, even if you are a content creator or you still have to do business in some way, What would be the most fulfilling way to express myself, okay? And sometimes we get lost in not maybe knowing how to do that. But right now, that's what we're spending this period getting comfortable doing. We're integrating this new perspective of we can have it easy and have it exactly the way that we want it, okay? So let's see if there's any challenges that might show up. Yeah, this really falls in line with the general messages that I just did for just the overview of the retrograde, is that it's going to be all about self-care, loving yourself, and choosing what Cancer needs right now. Unapologetically, okay? It has to be that way. You're not doing it because you're a dick. You're doing it because, look, I cannot continue to give and not and feel unfulfilled, okay? It's starting to throw other things in my life off balance. I've got to, okay? The moon showing up as the challenge, and it's only because you, not only during this time, the past will show up, your shadow self will show up, because the moon represents your shadow self. You might have a little bit of, I was gonna say, if there is a challenge, it's just for you tuning into that ease as your shadow self shows up, or you making that decision, or still feeling confident or abundant, or still feeling that way as these things show up. But remember what I said about integration. They're showing up for you to say, no, I set this boundary now, so it isn't, this is what it is now. No, I don't drink. You know what I mean? Or like I stopped drinking, so no. Somebody offers me a beer, no, I don't drink. Or, whatever your thing is that is an absolute no for you right now, Cancer. This is what that integration period is for you to say, yeah, this is an absolute no. And that's right on down to scarcity consciousness. That's right on down to making moves from a wounded place. This is your time to say no to it. I don't do that anymore. And mean it, okay? And once you start to do that, then you do start to feel a little bit more in the flow of ease, because you'll not only see it, but the only thing that keeps the one, or not the only thing, but one of the main things is that gives us resistance is indecisiveness. Once you make the decision that no, this is the truth now, the universe shows you the new truth in every way. But if there's any confusion or any doubt or any back and forth or any of that stuff, you're going to see the confusion and you're going to feel it. Okay, that's why they say, don't you worry about trying to do anything right now. Just work on taking care of yourself and doing things from a place of love. The collaborations will come into play. Things will be revealed because things are coming up from a very deep subconscious place, so that you can move into this new, okay? And so things that might show up during this retrograde might bring that up a little bit. So you're going to be seeing your shadow self a little bit. Not only are they saying be gentle with yourself, even if you happen to fall back into a habit, thought, or person, but once you're aware, let it go. Oh man, this retrograde was a motherfucker. But now I know, so we're not doing it anymore. Goodbye. We're starting from this moment now. The answer is no from right now on. Thank you for showing me why it should have been no at first, but that's okay that it wasn't. Be gentle with yourself. That's the one thing that's going to help you the most align with your soul's purpose. Who you truly are is just to be like, yeah, fine, I made that mistake. I thought it might feel better. Things haven't really been moving that much. I have been lonely. Whatever it is. I have been, so yeah, I let this person come back over again. Damn, that was stupid. Because no sooner than I made that decision did I start to feel the discord in my body, even if I still let it happen. Second I saw that motherfucker, I was like, oh man, what did I do? You know what I mean? I'm just saying, you start to feel the discord if you know that it's not the right decision for you. Especially if you've moved way beyond that relationship, or way beyond that thought, or way beyond that job, or that perspective. If you fall back into that perspective, you're going to feel it instantly because you know it's not true. You've already grown past that, and you can tell you're fitting yourself back into an old shirt that doesn't fit anymore. Okay? So let's go ahead and so some subconscious stuff might come up. Feeling that ease, the past is probably going to show up. Your shadow self might be a little bit of a challenge. They still want you to embrace this Queen of Cups. And not only is it us, male or female, but they want you to just take care of yourself. Do it through self-care and love. That's what this awakening is going to be about. That's how you're going to receive the most progress and receive the divine timing moment where it's time for you to seize it, okay? Give us some advice for my beautiful Cancer, and then I will get you guys an angel number and send you on your beautiful way, guys. With this, use this retrograde. First of all, stop claiming that it's going to be this bad time. Yes, there's going to be a few blips technologically. There's going to be a few this and that. The past is going to probably show up in thoughts, people, or things, or actions. Use this as a time to integrate your new boundaries. And again, even if you fall back into something, just realize, oh, this is where I'm at with this for real. Now I know where to put the focus on letting that go, or do a burning bowl ritual, or do some type of, writing down what oh shoot, this is still active. I'm still doing this. Oh no. Quick little release ritual. Done. Okay, claim it now, because in every moment you have the power to change. Whatever it is, okay? But we definitely have the advice is the Hangman and the Ten of Swords, okay? Remember what I said about it being that quiet awakening, because right now you're working on living that new perspective. So right now surrender is going to is going to be the only thing you're going to be asked to do. So that you can let these cycles end and move on towards the new horizon, okay? Because literally says the sun. And you saw I didn't even look until right now. You're letting this end so that you can move towards a new horizon. You're receiving the guidance and you are taking action. You're going to have to. But you want to move from a place of inspired action so that you're not draining yourself. Because this awakening and this change and this new perspective is going to come through surrender. Confirmed with that coming out with the Ten of Swords. And the sun. Letting it end is going to bring in the new horizon. The sun is coming up, Cancer, okay? And it is coming up through the moon. So hang in there, okay? Because some things do have to come up to come out. But it's all to help you get practical about your energy and where you're placing it, and if it's even still worth your time, okay? So start right now with just making a list of what you're doing and seeing, and then not even obsessively, because even if it's something that might not be providing numbers, but you feel fulfilled doing it, then that is still giving to you. But if you feel drained trying to keep it together and the numbers are fucked, let that baby go. It's not worth it. It is not worth your time anymore, okay? Because you're making space. And that's the perfect way to look at this retrograde, especially when it comes to your paper. You're making space for the things that you've created, and they're going to be showing up at the end of this retrograde or fresh out of that energy, okay? So just brace yourself, get prepared, because the sun is coming up. The sun is up, and we had the strength to show up to confirm. Tap into that infinite strength. Is for you to now use what you've learned to step fully into your power. Okay, Cancer? So I hope something did resonate. If it did, please like, share, subscribe. I'm doing this because I am a Cancer Sun Moon, and I absolutely love interacting and talking to you guys. So please do feel free to leave comments and things like that. I do love it. If you're interested in booking a reading, everything's going to be in the description, or you can just go ahead and shoot me a DM, and I'll give you a link to where you can check out more information for that. Yeah, let's just take care of each other. If you're interested in taking that course, that link is also going to be in the description. Also, I have the 30-day manifestation challenge that I have there. That link is also there. So yeah, I'm here for you, Cancer. If I can help in any way, please do let me know. And at the very least, if these readings are helping you, please do interact, and please do. It does help the channel, and it, it does help me know that I am reaching the people that these are meant for, okay? So, yeah, I'm going to pull you one angel number so that you can kind of take it as a kiss from the universe as you move throughout this retrograde, as everything is going to be all right. Excuse me. Everything is all right. It's all part of the manifestation, okay? If you just embrace that truth, it really takes the pressure off of what's happening. You can at least start to see things from a perspective of trying to understand it instead of this catastrophe of, I always do this, I'm such a loser, this always happens, I never have this, I never have that, people are all just like this. It at least gives a little push into the energy being able to flow in a way that you'll be able to see it differently with the hangman showing up, okay? First, we have rebellion showing up, which is, if you see 510, not only do fives represent change, but if you see 510, they want you to know that this is meant for you to blaze a trail. Okay, this is why it's okay for you to take this step back and allow the guidance, because you might not be doing it the way that it's usually done. So yeah, it might be a little hard. You think the people that created the airplanes, everybody was just like, oh yeah, you guys are right, we can fly. No. It took them a lot of time and probably a lot of ridicule and a lot of inner strength that they needed to tap into, and belief in their vision that they had to push through whatever it is. Okay, so tap into that infinite strength and know that when you see this number, it's a kiss from the universe to remind you that it's because you're blazing a trail. You're here to do it your way. That's what rebellion would show up as. Okay, I'm here to do this my way. And when you do truly realize that, tap into that energy of I'm here doing this lovingly, authentically, and my way, you start to receive the real people, okay? Because you're not just putting on a show for whoever. You're doing it for the people that it resonates with and the people that are ready for your message, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and just pull one of these angel numbers, and I'm going to send you on your beautiful way. I really love you, Cancer, and I do hope that these are helping you in some way, because I know they're helping me, and just knowing that it reaches anybody is a blessing for me. So I'm truly grateful, and I'm here for you in every way. And again, if you want to book a reading, if I can help even do a one-card pull for you, I do have a 111 reading that you can do, and then if it helps you, then you can decide if you want something deeper, okay? Truth. When you see 99, first of all, nines represent completion. We saw cycles ending. Okay, so just know that tap into your truth, whatever it is, and that's confirmed also with that rebellion card. What does it look like to you? How does it feel to you? How does it have to feel to you? And we have compassion. When you see 369, just tap into compassion, tap into love. It's an ask for you to lovingly tap into your truth. Because we also have 9 showing up here, and 3s and 6s, okay? 3s are about expansion, 6s are about harmony, and 9 is about completion or fulfillment, okay? So in order to fulfill your truth, you're going to want to tap into love and compassion for you, Cancer, okay? Right now it is not coming from a place of being selfish. It's coming from a place of you being ready to have and feel fulfilled in what you're doing, okay? And if you do this, I can guarantee you will start to feel more fulfilled in what you're doing, okay? But you do want to take an honest assessment of what is draining you and what is working, and start putting that energy into what's working. You will see progress probably right away, because the quantum field collapses instantly once you're in alignment, your body, mind, and soul, okay? So thank you again for watching. Please do subscribe, like, share, comment. If these are helping you, just know that it is coming from a place of love, true authenticity, and I am here for you if you need me. Thank you for watching. I am Mika, the Traveling Tarot. I love you guys. Take care of each other. Peace.